Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Deshe'A Mone and I am back with another video. If you are new to the family, I am a dancer, a model, and a YouTuber, and this is a snippet of my life.
Said, baby girl, you all I need, yeah. Oh, said, baby, you the one for me, yeah.
In today's video, you guys, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks that can be used for beginners or professional dancers when you are looking for the perfect dance heel. So if you do not know, I have been a heels dance teacher for 4 years now. I am based in Cleveland, Ohio, and the information that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is information that I've gained over the years from teaching and from also being a heel student, and also some research that I've done to make sure I really got all of the information that I wanted to share to you all. I wanted to make sure I left no stone untouched, because the number one question that I always get in classes are, what kind of heels should I get, or where can I get the perfect heels? So with that being said, there's not a number one place that you can actually purchase the perfect dance heel. Heels dance training has really just become popular over the last couple of years. So when it comes to certain shoe companies, there's not a lot of shoe brands that are actually gearing their heels towards dancers when it comes to comfort and stability. The only real company that I have found that's gearing their heels towards dancers are Burju shoes, and I actually have a pair from Kira Harper's line. So if you are not familiar with them, I'll go ahead and I'll link their Instagram down below. But yeah, their heels are superb, okay? Superb. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into the tips. The number one tip that I can give you guys when you are looking for a good dance heel is the ankle support. So your ankle support is going to be very important, because this is going to ensure that you are limiting, not stopping, but limiting the risk of injury. So your ankle, when you are dancing in a heel, it should always be flexible. You should always be able to flex your foot. Yeah, and you should also always be able to turn and pivot whenever you need to. The best kind of heel that's going to give you, in my opinion, the best ankle support will be a booty. If you guys don't know what a booty is, this is my dance heel booty, and this is actually the one from Burju shoes, the Kira Harper line. So a booty, what a booty is going to allow you to do, it's going to allow you to have a lightweight shoe on your foot. So when you are dancing, you don't want to be weighed down, and you want to make sure that your ankle is supported but also still very flexible. So this booty in particular, it really molds to my ankle. It has the zippers and the laces, which allows double support. If you guys don't know, when you are dancing in heels, sometimes the fabric starts to expand a little bit. So these laces ensure that I'm able to tie my heels up and they're still securing to my ankle even when the fabric starts to stretch. And the zipper just allows for extra support. So I really enjoy these heels a lot. So yeah, if you're ever looking for a dance heel, your number one tip is to look at the ankle support. Can you move your ankle? Can you turn? Can you twist? Can you do all that good stuff but still be supported? That's the one thing that you want to think of at all times. So my second tip to you guys would be to always make sure that you are looking for an open toe shoe. Open toe shoes allow you to actually grip the floor with all of your toes. So you can think of it as if you were in an actual tech class, which heels in general really is a technique class. But if you were in, let's say, ballet or jazz, you would want your feet while they're on the floor. You know how teachers always say, like, spread your feet, spread your toes, and use them as a base. It's the same thing in heels. You want to make sure that your toes are actually able to spread out in your heel. You don't want your toes to ever be curled up, and sometimes they get like this in a closed toe heel. So my second tip to you guys is to always make sure you have an open toe. So now my third tip. This third tip, I'm going to give you guys some examples as to why this tip is the tip that you should stick with. Oh, that kind of rhymes a little bit, girl. So our third tip, which one do you choose, stiletto or chunky? You always want to choose your stiletto, and here are some reasons why. Your stiletto, for one, the weight. Again, this is way lighter than a chunky heel, so this is going to allow you to be able to move your feet really, really fast, while this will sometimes weigh you down. Your stiletto will always give you better lines and cleaner aesthetically looking line and cleaner aesthetically pleasing looking lines as opposed to your chunky heel. You should always be able to flex your foot in whatever heel you're dancing in, and as you can see, flex, I did not mean flex. Don't do that. Don't. You should always be able to point your foot in whatever heel you're dancing in. And as you can see in this heel, I'm actually easily able to bend my sole because it's made for dancers, and she knows that you're supposed to be able to point. So the heel, the sole of this is actually very flexible. When it comes to the chunky heel, you can't move this at all. So this in turn breaks your lines, and it does not allow you to execute things the way that you want. It's gonna always give you a rigid line just because there's this fat thing just at the end of your foot. Also with chunky heels, a lot of them are made with rubber at the bottom as opposed to this is like a suede material, but as you start to dance on it, it starts to get the friction, and it starts to like what's the word, like roughen up a bit, so you're able to actually dance on the floor a little easier. But with these, this is gonna cause you to get injured. The thing about rubber, a lot of the times a lot of dance floors are made out of either marley floor or wood, and this will stick to both, especially marley. When this sticks to the floor, you are not going to be able to move your ankle, and that is going to cause an injury. And also, this is built on a platform. So this shoe has a platform on the inside that can cause you to roll over your ankle sometimes, and that also causes injury. So without a doubt, if you're ever wondering, never choose a chunky, always choose stiletto. Our fourth tip. Now this tip is going to be mainly geared towards beginners. A lot of beginners, when they're just starting out, they usually like to always choose a chunky heel because they think that it'll give them more support or it'll be easier. But in reality, that's not true. When you're dancing in a heel, it's always about moving through space and trying to, find your equilibrium and knowing where your weight is at all times. When you're dancing on a chunky heel, as I stated before, most of them are made with a platform on the inside. So that's an illusion. So when you're actually getting ready to put on a stiletto, you're not going to actually know how to distribute your weight because you've always had that platform there to save you. And your equilibrium in a stiletto is going to be 110% different. So never think that a chunky heel is going to be better than a stiletto. And that tip is geared towards my beginners. Our fifth tip. This tip is also going to be geared towards beginners because a lot of beginners are kind of scared to start off in a stiletto heel. I'm going to tell you now, all heels are going to hurt a little bit. All heels are going to make you feel uneasy at first. My number one thing that I can say is just to start off with a shorter heel. I will always recommend a 3.5 inch heel. I would never go 4 inches high or 4 inches and above. If you're a more advanced dancer, then of course, if you know your body already and you know your strength in your ankle and in your legs, then you can start to advance yourself. But if you are a beginner and you're just starting out, never go past 3.5 inches for a couple of reasons actually. The first reason, your ankles are not strong enough yet, okay? So dancing in a stiletto will build your strength up in your legs over time, but when you're just starting out, you don't really know that strength just yet. So if you're in a 3.5 inch heel and it feels comfortable, then I would say you can go ahead and move up to a 4 inch, 4.5, and so on and so on. But until you actually figure out how strong you actually are, I would just hold off on being on the advanced level of things, and I would just start off with a 3.5 inch heel. It's just going to make things much safer for you, and we always want to try to prevent injury. Okay guys, so that actually brings us to the end of this video and the end of the tips that I have for you when it comes to buying new dance heels. All in all, I can say always make sure that whatever heel you're looking at is always comfortable for you. Make sure that it has great ankle support. Make sure it's not too high if you're just starting off, and if you are a more advanced dancer, make sure you're just inching your way up there. Don't go from a 4-inch heel to like a 6-inch, maybe like go 4.5, 5. And then yeah, never dance on a chunky heel, and just make sure that you're executing your lines the most proper, safe way, which is always going to be in a stiletto. Any questions for me, you can always leave them down in the comment section below, and I will always try my best to answer them. Or if you want to hit me up on Instagram, my Instagram name is Deshe'A.Mone. That is DESHEA.MONE, and it will also be linked down below. And without further ado, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Thank you for tuning into this video, and happy 2021. Mwah. Bye, beauties.